You're watching the first of a special two-part investigation conducted by the Truth vs. Hype team on the hidden deaths of India's construction workers. These are the men and women building the dream homes that you and I live in. It's our dreams, the dreams of a rising Indian middle class, that continues to power construction and has made construction India's second largest employer and contributor to economic activity after agriculture. According to Make in India, the Indian real estate market was projected to grow by nearly 80% from US $78 billion in 2013 to approximately $140 billion this year. But there's a darker side to this explosive growth. For all the big money involved, the industry has scant regard for the safety of those who work in its lowest rungs. Every year, hundreds of the men and women either fall to their deaths or are electrocuted or are buried under rubble. Many more are grievously injured, all because, as we shall see, basic safety regulations are not followed and those responsible not punished. Most crucially, the pattern repeats itself year after year in worksite after worksite because the deaths are made invisible. As of today, little or no record of the deaths of construction workers exists. The only official data we could find is a Lok Sabha reply on 16th March of 2015, which shows only 77 deaths at construction sites across the country from 2012 to 2015. And so was a starting point. We attempted a first-of-its-kind exercise, a national record of the deaths of India's construction workers. We filed RTIs in 17 states asking for details of deaths of construction workers between 2013 and 2016. And this is what we found. Across 24 cities in 17 states, 452 workers died and 212 wounded between 2013 and 2016. Now, compared to the scale of construction workers, an estimated 7.5 crore, 452 deaths may seem like a small number. The numbers, however, may be far from accurate. We also approached police departments in major Indian cities to help us collate data from the same time period based on police records. We tapped NGOs working with construction workers. Based on that and adjusting for double counting, the figure rises to 1,092 deaths and 377 injured. That's more than 10 times the number of deaths that appears in that Labour Ministry reply to the Lok Sabha. All this shows that official record keeping is shoddy and actual numbers may be even higher. But now at least we have a log of how many died. It's far from perfect, but it's a start. From this log, we are also able to get a sense of why they die. Analyzing those RTI replies which did mention reasons for death, the biggest, nearly 60%, was by fall from height. Death from the collapse of a wall or of the whole building came in next at 25%. Death by electrocution at 15%. To understand if the numbers are actually much higher, I spoke to Vipul Pandya, who works in an NGO in Gujarat, which has been collecting data from police records on the deaths of construction workers. This is what he had to say.
मुझे लग रहा है कि हमारे देश के पास कोई डेटा नहीं है, ठीक डेटा नहीं है, जो भी है बहुत कम है, 4 टाइम्स ज्यादा होगा. मैं इसलिए ये कह रहा हूं कि ये जो डेटा हमें मिल रहा है वो फैटल एक्सीडेंट का मिलता है. जो मेडिकल लीगल केस होता है, पीएम होता है, जिस केस में प्राइवेट हॉस्पिटलाइज होता है विक्टिम्स, उनका कोई केस दर्ज नहीं होता है, इसलिए तो उन लोगों को प्राइवेट हॉस्पिटल में जो है एडमिट करवाया जाता है.
विपुल जी, क्या ये भी एक वजह है कि जो बहुत सारे कंस्ट्रक्शन वर्कर्स हैं वो माइग्रेंट्स हैं और इसी वजह से उनके डेथ्स की पूरी तरह से डेटा कैप्चर नहीं कर पाती?
जो हमारे पास जो डेटा आता है इसमें हमने ये ऑब्जर्व किया है कि ज्यादातर माइग्रेंट कंस्ट्रक्शन वर्कर्स का ही डेथ होता है, इसलिए कि सबसे ज्यादा रिस्क वाला काम है वो माइग्रेंट लेबर ही करते हैं और उनकी कोई जिम्मेवारी लेने वाले नहीं है इंटरस्टेट माइग्रेंट वर्कर्स का, तो उसका रिपोर्टिंग भी नहीं होता है.
Now, on paper, the laws to ensure safety are fairly elaborate. While state governments have to make rules for safety, the Central Act frames broad guidelines to be followed. It says employers must ensure safety nets and safety belts wherever workers are working at a height, safety helmets, waterproof boots for workers in wet concrete or wet areas, no exposed wiring which may come in contact with water, and opening of a building shall be covered or guarded suitably. But there's very little government oversight of these measures. Part of the reason is built into the law itself. The Construction Workers Act says inspectors can visit sites, but doesn't specify it's for safety. The focus is more on social security, whether toilets, drinking water, creches are provided or not. Moreover, penalties are negligible. Under the Construction Workers Act, every death has to be logged with the Labour Department. If the department finds the employer guilty of negligence, the maximum penalty is jail for just 3 months and a fine of only Rs 2,000. Repeat offenders may have to pay even less. They can be fined anywhere between 500 to 2,000 rupees. Separately, the police are meant to conduct an inquiry in case of accidents. If the police finds an employer guilty, the maximum charge is death due to negligence. It's a bailable offence though, and most cases, those accused are soon out on bail. To uncover the unsafe conditions in which workers work without protection from the law or their employers, we visited construction sites which had witnessed deaths. Since it's not possible to visit all the sites, we focused on the construction hubs in Delhi and Mumbai suburbs. Filming isn't easy. Most sites do not allow camera teams. Most of those who work in construction are migrants, and so families of those killed or witnesses to accidents have moved away. Even so, what Truth vs. Hype's Sonal Matharu found uncovers a disturbing reality, starting with one site in Navi Mumbai which exposed the multiple risks faced by India's construction workers.
Navi Mumbai, the satellite city to India's business capital. High-rises everywhere. This is Sai Mannat in Kharghar in Navi Mumbai, built by the Paradise Group. Behind the gloss, a dark chapter.
On May 22nd of this year, 2 workers, Rahmatullah Sheikh and Etbari Ansari, fell to their death. They were suspended on a metallic plank from the 17th floor of this building, and they were doing plaster work of the building from the outside. The rope of the plank snapped and one worker hung to it and was saved, but the other 2 fell and died on the spot.
Today, despite the deaths, the risk to workers persists. We filmed the Sai Mannat site from inside and outside to find workers suspended several stories above the ground without safety nets or beds. We could see open wires. Shockingly, we found that workers on a similar platform to the one that led to the accident were wearing no helmets. Their harnesses were tied to the plank itself instead of to the building. The police did not book the builder, instead booking this man, the contractor, on charges of death due to negligence. Kadam is out on bail and back at work at the same site. They admitted to the reasons for the accident.
अगर वायर टूटा ऊपर से,
हाँ वायर टूटा
तो
हो झटके
safety
में
belt किस-
हाँ उन्होंने लगाया लेकिन वहाँ लटकाया नहीं उसने जहाँ उसको लगाना चाहिए
खुद का पहना?
हाँ खुद का पहना जहाँ लगाना था उसको वो नहीं लगाया उन्होंने
अच्छा, तो मतलब कोई फायदा नहीं।
हाँ
दोनों में
हाँ
एक ही बात।
उनके ऐसा
तो ये किसी ने चेक नहीं किया कि उन्होंने सेफ्टी बेल्ट
काम कर रहे तो वहाँ हायर फ्लोर पे नहीं जाके चेक कर सकते ना मैडम.
Moreover, the question remains, how did the rope snap? Was there no test done to check if the rope was strong enough to carry the weight of 3 people on one plank?
How long have you been in this business?
About 36 years now.
To understand what could have been done to prevent the accidents, we turned to Sunil Bhatta, a project manager and a veteran in the real estate business.
Scaffold on which they are working should have been much stronger, or the platform they were on, that should have been checked regularly, that it's not giving way or planks are not breaking down.
Right.
And
also to test to make sure it can carry the weight
Yes.
of so many men, those tests
yes,
should have been done?
Yes, yes.
Ensuring better safety is a cost that Paradise builders should be able to afford. Their site says the flats cost between 1.5 and 3.5 crore.
The workers at site told us that the families of the victims were supposedly given 50,000 rupees each as temporary settlement and sent back home. No final compensation has been received yet, as far as we could gather. We will come back to this challenge of families claiming compensation later in the show.
The Paradise Group refused to comment.
These are not isolated instances of safety violations in Navi Mumbai worksites.
We filmed at multiple construction sites to find workers lifting heavy iron rods up the building, standing on the edge with no walls and no safety nets. Workers digging foundations without helmets. Waterclogged sites with wires lying around. Cranes with cement blocks hanging right above the spot where the workers were working.
जैसे साइट पे आपका सेफ्टी मैनेजर होता है।
हाँ, लेकिन हमारे यहाँ कोई नहीं।
आपके यहाँ सेफ्टी मैनेजर नहीं है कोई भी?
ना बाहर जाता है। कभी कदा महीने 15 दिन में कभी आ गए तो आ गए, कोई नहीं। सर्टिफिकेट को
आप जैसे काम पे आते हैं, फिर काम करते हैं इतना ऊंचा माले पे चढ़ के, तो कोई आके देखता नहीं है कि आपने हेलमेट पहना है या आपने